Good evening, everyone. Severe Weather Team 9 meteorologist Nate the Judge joining you for this edition of Nate at 8. And coming up, we are tracking more snow ahead for your Friday into Saturday. Thankfully, we're not piling up a lot of it as we go into the weekend, but still enough to cause some slippery road conditions at times. So without further ado, let's jump into things, shall we? And that is part of what we're going to be talking about. The other thing to really discuss as well, temperatures. So while it certainly was bitterly cold for today, and same story tonight, it turns even colder likely early next week. So we'll touch on that as well. Before we get into the snow, first off on this edition of 88, let's touch on those temperatures, which really going throughout this afternoon, hovering around the mid-teens. Now, early on tonight, we are seeing our temperatures now fall mid to lower teens. And what we're dealing with right now is likely going to be pretty close to on par with what our low temperatures are for tonight. So temperatures aren't going to budge too much more, maybe another degree or two, and that's going to be it. And then temperatures are going to start to become more stable for the second half of the night and potential there to even climb up a little bit for tomorrow morning. Not that it's really that noticeable, but temperatures could bump up by a few degrees going into daybreak tomorrow. Certainly still bitterly cold overnight. But the thing to really take away from this is, again, not going to get much colder than it is right now. And our technical low for tonight could even occur leading up towards midnight before, as we get later tonight, as winds start to shift out of the south, which is cutting off those lake effect snow showers into the overnight hours, could actually make those temperatures not only more stable, but bump up a little bit for tomorrow morning. And our winds will diminish as we go overnight, likely not completely calming, but at least our winds are lighter, again, out of the south, shifting out of the south later on tonight. That light southerly wind keeping those temperatures more stable, warming up a little bit later on tonight. Of course, it will also help with the wind chill factor, right? With the winds dying down a little bit as we go through the night, still enough with a light wind to cause that chill to the air. But as we do look ahead going into tomorrow morning, once we see those wind speeds start to relax some, the wind chill is not going to be as big of a factor for tomorrow morning. Now, that being said, when temperatures are still into the teens, well, it's still going to feel bitterly cold to us. It's still going to feel like it's into the single digits. It's just it can be more upper single digits, closer to 10 degrees, instead of dealing with those wind chills closer to the negative single digits like what we had here early on to this evening before those winds started to die down some across the area. And the good news is, if you don't like these bitterly cold temperatures, as we do look ahead going into tomorrow as well as Saturday, we're going to see those temperatures then bump up. So thankfully, we're going to be seeing temperatures climb back up as we do look ahead going into Friday and Saturday before they do likely come crashing back down as we do extend into Sunday. And really, I think Sunday can feel a lot like what we're going to be dealing with, what we dealt with for today and tonight. And then by early next week, our temperatures are likely dropping off even more as we do look ahead into Monday, Tuesday. That Tuesday morning, especially, I think that we can end up seeing those temperatures fall into the single digits and easily deal with those wind chills into the negative single digits by Tuesday morning. So if we thought today was cold and tonight's cold, it gets even colder by early on into next week. Good evening, Joe. Thank you for tuning in. Blake, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Any snow tonight? And no, so Megan, likely not any snow tonight, but it'll pick back up likely as we do extend into tomorrow. But it looks later on tomorrow, and we'll get into that as well. What you're not seeing off screen right now is the software that we're using here for the weather graphics completely crashing. So I apologize. I could keep going with the forecast, but I'll talk with you guys and see if we can get this to respond again. First time I've had this happen. I've been doing these edition nated eights for a long time and never had this software crash on me before, but lo and behold, technology sometimes, right? Unfortunately. But we'll continue chatting here. I'll see if I can get this back up and running and we can continue this Nate at 8. Austin, good evening. When last night's weather report was over, I could feel and hear the wind picking up. It was crazy and extremely chilly. Plus, I got to enjoy watching it snow today. And yeah, absolutely. Good way to describe it, Austin. crazy and extremely chilly. There's no doubt about it. I got to enjoy watching it snow today. Some of that lingering snow extending into the afternoon hours, even into this evening. But now, again, this tapering off for tonight, and outside of just some bitterly cold conditions into tomorrow morning, we're not going to be dealing with the snow like what we had for last night again for tonight. But again, for tomorrow night is when we do likely see a repeat. And it could be, a lot of similarities with respect to what we just saw, mainly in terms of the snow amounts. And we're not getting any rain to snow like what we had for going into last night, looking ahead for Friday night. It's all snow in terms of precipitation, but the amounts can be similar. So it looks like our accumulations are going to end up light as we extend to that. And still trying to bear with me, still trying to get this to pop back up for us so we can resume. Mark, snow and cold need to go away. And yeah, just not letting up its grip here, at least near term. And I think we can see that snow, that cold and snow relax some later next week, but at least the cold. But yeah, these here near term, it's I guess technically a little bit the next couple of days. We're not in the teens again. The next 2 days, we're back closer to freezing, even a little above freezing Saturday, but still snowy and still overall, it's not warm. It's still cold, just not, you can say more bearable when it comes to the cold the next couple of days. And good evening. Thanks for tuning in. Joe, you're welcome. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That's very kind. And Renee says, waiting for spring. Waiting for spring. The countdown is on, Renee is saying. Debbie couldn't agree more with you, saying enough is enough. Tired of the cold and the snow. Lou watching from Waynesburg. Well, thanks, Lou, for joining us from Waynesburg for this evening. I appreciate you tuning in. So see, this continues to load here. We may or may not be able to continue with our graphics. That'd be nice if so. Again, this is the first time I've had this happen I've been doing this for, gosh, probably close to a year now for our Nate at 8s, and the first time we've had our software completely crash on us. And thankfully, we're still live. We haven't lost that, but the software we use for our weather graphics here for our Nate at 8 is just completely crashed, and I can't get it to come back up. So let me see if I can go into a little more, go behind the scenes here a little more. Let me see if I can figure out what's going on for us. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Michael says, sorry, just come on, more snow tomorrow. Yes, so we'll deal with that snow moving in for tomorrow. I think a lot of the daytime, I'll just go ahead and jump into it in case our graphics don't come back for us. But a lot of tomorrow will likely end up fairly dry, especially in terms of anything accumulating. I think we can still see some flurries throughout the day tomorrow at least, but in terms of the real accumulating impactful snow, it likely holds off for a lot of the daytime tomorrow. It's likely not going to be more towards sunset in the evening hours that we'll start to see that snow pick up, and a lot of that snow actually likely accumulates more overnight tomorrow. So again, a lot of the daytime tomorrow does not look impactful. More of some flurries throughout the daytime tomorrow, and temperatures do pick up, so they'll climb closer to freezing. And the product that crews are placing down the roads, the salt, very effective when temperatures are climbing closer to freezing. I really don't foresee much of an issue when it comes to our roads as we go throughout the daytime tomorrow. And in fact, any lingering slick spots going into tomorrow morning could quickly improve into tomorrow afternoon. So I don't see any issues. If you're wondering during the daytime tomorrow, yes, for both the morning and afternoon commute, it should be okay, but we will have to watch. Again, it can be shortly after the afternoon commute into the evening, especially early Friday night. We could see that snow move back in. Temperatures drop back just below that freezing mark, and we'll deal with some potential there for more slippery road conditions. Now, it's not as cold this time around for Friday night. Temperatures do look to be below freezing, but not by a lot. Probably upper 20s, around 30. It's not dropping too much below that freezing mark. So that being said, our road conditions really could technically be a little better with respect to what we had for last night. Just because, again, we're dealing with a little warmer temperatures. The salt the crews are placing down is going to be a lot more effective because temperatures really aren't going to be dropping too much below that freezing mark. That's the good news. Now, again, I still think we can have some slippery road conditions for Friday night into Saturday morning, and then it's a big improvement. So I'd still use some caution when traveling, even early tomorrow night and into Saturday morning. But once we get throughout the day Saturday, even despite some snow showers lingering throughout the day, our temperatures look to climb above that freezing mark. So as we see our temperatures climb towards the mid 30s into Saturday afternoon, it looks it's one of the situations where it's a drastic improvement in road conditions. So still could deal with some slick roads into Saturday morning, but it's just wet. These roads are just likely wet leaving late morning on Saturday and into Saturday afternoon. I don't foresee travel restrictions throughout a lot of the day Saturday. Some lingering snow showers, but again, temperatures do look to climb towards the mid 30s above freezing, and a lot of these roads are likely just wet. Snow showers then taper off for tomorrow night. So by Sunday, it's cold, more similar to what we just had for today, but not much snow at that point, and even a little more sunshine breaking out for Sunday. But again, that's one of those days. The sun could be out, but it could be deceiving. It's going to be feeling much more like how it felt for today by Sunday, and then even colder into early next week. It's just, it is going to be very cold. Temperatures by Tuesday morning are likely in the single digits. Wind chills, negative single digits. Tuesday, back in the teens for a high in the afternoon. Into Wednesday, temperatures do start to climb back up at that point. It's still bitterly cold in the morning, but in the afternoon, we'll get back closer to that freezing mark. And then we'll notice a little warmer temperatures then for the latter part of next week. And some snow showers could be around on Monday. It doesn't look like a lot, but some snow showers. In terms of snow accumulations for this weekend, I think that's where the similarities can be with what we just had. It looks light. So, we get that coating to an inch or two, and the accumulations look light. Still enough, again, for some slippery road conditions. The emphasis in terms of road conditions are going to be more into a Friday night. So Friday night, Saturday morning, that's likely the worst road conditions here as we go through the weekend. Throughout the day Saturday, what really helps those temperatures climbing not only to, but even likely just above freezing Saturday afternoon. So big help in clearing up some of these slick roads that could develop for Friday night. So a lot of good going our way here with this next round of snow as we extend into the weekend. Rebecca's asking, how is travel right now? And some slick spots could be with us overnight. Nothing widespread of a major issue, but some slick spots, especially on our side roads, just something to use caution for. And even some of those lingering slick spots likely clearing up by tomorrow afternoon. And that's, again, because temperatures are climbing back closer to that freezing mark, and then can become slick again Friday night, and then likely just wet by Saturday afternoon. Big improvement in those road conditions with those temperatures climbing even a bit above that freezing mark. Rebecca says, do you think roads will be okay at 4 o'clock? And yeah, I think a lot of that snow is moving in even a little past that. So I think a lot of the snow is moving in past the afternoon commute. So I think that they'll be okay at that point. We could see some snow begin, but I think a lot of that is past the afternoon commute, a little past that, going closer, even a little past sunset likely for tomorrow. That's why I say a lot of the snow is more Friday night. A lot of those worst road conditions is more in line with Friday night likely into Saturday morning is when we'll see a lot of accumulation and slick road conditions. It's likely more in line with those overnight hours, and then we can see that improvement in road conditions as a lot of these snow showers are then tapering off as we extend into Sunday. But even those lingering snow showers on Saturday, roads will still likely be, most of them likely wet because it's cold enough for snow, but temperatures likely climb towards the mid 30s into Saturday afternoon. So it can keep a lot of our roads just primarily wet, despite some of those snow showers continuing going throughout the day. It'll be Saturday night will dry up, and then Sunday likely dry. A little sunshine, but cold, bitterly cold Sunday, more reminiscent of what we had for today. Austin says, what's the record for single digits in the lows for January? And so we've had lows. When we talk about records in January, Austin, we'll talk about negative readings. So our record lows this time of the year would be negatives. So single digit lows is certainly below normal, but not record breaking for this time of the year. We talk about those negative readings would be record breaking for us into January. Our statistically coldest month of the year, and living up to it. Here are some of these cold temperatures ahead for us going into early next week. Diana says, what a winter. My daughter's first. She relocated from San Antonio, and yeah, I'm sure a bit of a shock to the system in terms of just how cold it's going to be coming up here over the next week. And yeah, quite a bit of snow, especially into what we had going into New Year's and earlier into December. Quite a bit of snow, and not a lot, but a little bit more what we had going into today, and again what we have going into your Saturday. So yeah, certainly more of a wintry, certainly a taste of winter, that's for sure. Plenty of it so far for this winter, that's for sure. We're not the winters that we not last year, but the 2 winters in a row we had before that, where it was overall mild and green, not much white to be had, not much snow. That was not last winter, but the 2 winters before that, where it was near record warmth and a lack of snow. You may recall that before we had more of a winter for last winter. Last January was very cold. This January not setting up to be as cold as what we had last January, but we just came off of our coldest December in almost 10 years. 2017, the last time that we had a December as cold as the one we just witnessed. And yes, that's even on top of the warm up that we had going into Christmas Day. The beginning of December was so cold that it still ended up being below normal and the coldest in almost 10 years for us, the coldest December for us here in the Ohio Valley. But this January, not going to be as cold as the one we had for this past January, but nonetheless, we're getting some below normal temperatures to return here for a lot of the next week. Bigger snow next weekend. Sandy is talking about snow next weekend. Yeah, it's way too early. I won't even touch on that. Yeah, we could have some snow coming our way next weekend, but it's way too early to say if it's going to be a bigger snow than what we're dealing with here for this weekend. Lou says the record low temperature at Wheeling, Ohio County Airport for January is negative 16 degrees Fahrenheit, set in 1994. Well, cool tidbit. Well, thanks for chiming that in, Lou. That's awesome. Appreciate that. So there it is. So there's our negative readings we're talking about for this time of the year. Negative 16. Thanks for that statistic there, Lou. Yeah, it's quite cold. That's for sure. It's just a little chilly, right? Negative 16 degrees. It's set in 1994. The cold, low temperature. So hopefully it gives you an idea of what to expect coming our way through this weekend. I apologize for our software crashing on us on this evening, and so I won't be able to show you the graphics that I typically can. So my apologies again. First time happening since I've been doing these editions of Nate at 8. So I do apologize. Unfortunately, software not working for us, and can't get it back up, but at least we've got the stream still going, and we could keep the stream going here for this edition of Nate at 8. I appreciate you guys tuning in as always. I hope you have a wonderful night. You can catch me coming up News 9 at 10 on Fox 9, News 9 tonight at 11. We'll be able to break down a lot more of this with graphics of what's coming our way as we extend into the weekend. And of course, need any recaps, you can always go back and rewatch portions of this where I dive into the forecast into the weekend, and I'll have a lot of more post some updates coming up on not only on News 9 at 10 on Fox 9, News 9 tonight 11 on WTOV9, on my Facebook page, as well as on X. If you have one of those social medias, watch there. I'll be posting some updates throughout this evening as well. Nathan Shutt News 9 on Facebook, and Shutt WTOV on X. Brett is asking when snow starting. So tomorrow evening, and we have some flurries throughout the day tomorrow. We can have some, but the real more impactful accumulating snow, it's likely closer to sunset, if not shortly after that. So going towards tomorrow evening, towards sunset, we're talking I really think closer towards 6, 8 o'clock. So it gives again that more evening time frame for your Friday. And the most of the snow then falls overnight. Most of the impacts is more overnight Friday. So just watch. It'll be Friday evening, early Friday night, I should say, is when we can start to see roads become slick. We can see that snow accumulate then overnight Friday into Saturday morning. And I think overall, the worst road conditions and is similar to what we just had, where really the worst is likely more overnight on Friday into Saturday morning is likely the worst road conditions, and then we'll see some improvements throughout the day Saturday. Again, largely thanks to the fact temperatures are not only near, but even likely just a little above freezing Saturday afternoon. Some snow showers still persist throughout the day Saturday. Some additional light accumulations are possible, but a lot of the snow accumulations are likely Friday night, Saturday morning. Some snow showers persist into Saturday night, then drying up late Saturday night into Sunday, and then likely dry, but bitterly cold again for the second half of this weekend. Well, thanks so much again for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. Hopefully, for the next edition of Nate at 8, we'll have graphics next time. We'll see what's going on to get things sorted out for that next edition of Nate at 8. Appreciate it as always. Have a great night. Again, catch me coming up News 9 at 10 on Fox 9, News 9 tonight at 11 on WTOV9. And as always, for that next edition of Nate at 8, the Friday evening special. So stay tuned. We're going to be breaking down that snow moving into our area for tomorrow night. So make sure to stay tuned for the latest on that snow for that next edition of Nate at 8. Have a great night.